Yeah.
Hi, Bhumika. You look lovely as
I
usual. Thank
thank you. Thank you so much.
you for coming for the Womenistan talk show at such a short notice. And it's been a complete pleasure and my privilege to have you.
Saima for Best Actor in Supporting Role, Female, Telugu, goes to. So she's beautiful. She's someone whose smile I've always admired. She's extremely innocent and very pretty. And today she's dressed in green and yellow. Bhumika, come.
సో ఎలా అనిపిస్తుంది భూమిక గారు?
Andarki Namaskaram. I am really happy today to receive this award. Thank you so much, Riya. This is my first award after I've lost my mother. I really miss her.
We're really sorry about the loss.
So I just want to thank everyone and thank you, Saima, for bringing a smile on my face again. I miss you, Mom.
The first time I spoke to you, I could deeply connect and you heard me out and you gave me such a patient hearing. I knew that we have a long way to go. And I
How
just felt
sweet.
that
Thank
instant
you.
bond with you. And I said, I'm very selective of the people I have on my show. And I said, I must have Bhumika. So it's a complete
Thank
honor,
you.
complete pleasure to have you.
No, it's my honor. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mehnaaz.
So you've been receiving such amazing awards. I mean, you've got close to 27, 28 awards, nearly running towards number 30. And films like Kushi and Misamma, which I have been reading a lot, I would love to see it because you play a very different role in it. And it's like a very psyche role. And I would love to see the film Misamma. And films like Now Autograph and Middle Class Abayagi. Am I pronouncing that right?
Middle class Abai, yeah.
Abaya?
Middle class Abai. Abai is like a boy, the middle
And
class
Tere Naam,
boy.
where you got that amazing. I could not see that movie just once. I had to see it 3 times. And I realized I saw it thrice and you got 3 awards for Tere Naam. So
Thank you.
amazing. So tell me about Tere Naam and all the other 3 films, a little bit, your anecdotes and personal experiences about these 3, 4 movies.
So, the movies you've selected are very close to my heart, and all of them are different from the other. Tere Naam was my first Hindi film, my debut in Bollywood, and it was an amazing experience for me because where women are or girls are launched looking absolutely glamorous and gorgeous. The first thing that struck me was that this was a character. This was not a gorgeous, drop dead, gorgeous looking girl. She was just playing a character. And so it was like, somebody kind of chasing her and stuff like that. For me, working with Satish Ji was a good experience because he's himself from a theater background. And Salman, I think everyone knows, at that point, uh, he had his own charm and charisma, if I must say, and he had his own thing going. But the one thing that I noticed through the film was whatever people say about him, there's a lot of extreme positive and extreme the other side. He was always very kind, very supportive of the fact that this was my first Hindi project and extremely caring. So that was an amazing experience. Misama holds a very different story. So when I did Misama, I had done three very big films before that. Huge films with absolutely huge star cast and producers. I'm talking about 2000, 2001, when the film was at that point 16 to 20 crore budget. Uh, Misama was offered to me, and that film had a boy who was pretty much new, had a director who had done one film. Of course, he had won a national award for that, but he'd just done one film. The budget of the film was 1 crore. And so the people who I was working with, one of the actors, very well known, we were sitting and he said, Bhumika, don't do this film. You know, you're going the other way when you have everything going for you. You have big actors, big producers, big directors, and you know, you're jumping into something which is absolutely, a different track. I said, no, I've decided I'm doing it, and there's no way I'm, stepping back from it. So when I did Misama, God has been kind. That film got me huge appraise from, kind of all my fans and people in the industry. People loved it. I got an award for it. The movie was nominated. The movie recovered close to 9 crores. So I think all over, commercially and otherwise, the movie did very well. So that is another film. And the third one you were talking about was what? Now Autograph?
Middle class abhay.
Middle Class Survive is the more recent one in 2017. So I did this film after a gap in Telugu films. Okay, after Yash was born, my child, and I did a Kannada film in 2014. I did MS Dhoni in 15. So it was one film pretty much a year, and 16 I did something else. 17 is when I did MCA. So it was coming back to Telugu after a gap of 3 years. When I did that film, the character that I played was the role of sister-in-law to the hero. Funnily, the hero and I were to do a film when he was being launched in 2007. We were to be doing this film together, which I backed out of, which again got like 10 awards. I backed out because I was getting married and my dates weren't working out. So this time we came together and I was playing his sister-in-law. So for me, industry has a perception of you get into a character role and then you get stuck and, how is she going to do? So I told the director, I said, I'm only doing this film if whatever little I have to do has to make a mark. I'm not going to just step in so that even now, I don't want to do a film just because I'm sitting at home and I have nothing to do. No, I don't want to do that. Even if it's small or big, there has to be some substance for me to work on it. So fortunately, God's grace, like I say, that film worked, and people loved it, and I got awards for that as the best supporting actress. So I think God has been really kind, totally.
And what about Kushi?
Kushi was an amazing film. Again, it's one of the movies like a cult film. So in Telugu industry, in what 75, 80 years of Telugu industry now, Kushi is known as one of the cult films. And this was in 2001 when I shot for it with Pavan Kalyan. And again, an amazing experience because this was like a college love story. And here, it's like two people. It was made in Hindi as well in Tamil. In Telugu, I got the best filmfare for this movie. So I had an amazing. I worked with director Surya in that, and he was a taskmaster, which was good. And I worked with PC Srirangaru, who was the cinematographer for the GOP. So the first day we were shooting Mehnaaz, he gets me a face wash and he says, "Go wash your face." And I was like, "Excuse me." He says, "Go wash your face. I don't want any makeup on your face." So I said, okay. So I went and quietly removed a bit of it and kept a little bit. And he got really upset. He says, no makeup means no makeup. So I went and watched it. So pretty much in the whole film, I have no makeup at all, not an iota of it. And so that film did really well. Like even today, people, if they see me, they say Madhu, the character, Madhumita. They call me by that name. So that film has also been, it's a film very close to my heart, and the team and the way we worked, it was amazing.
there was a film which you, when you got the award, you went on stage wearing a beautiful green and a yellow outfit, and you dedicated it to your mother with tears in your
Yeah,
eyes. That was MCA.
that's right. That was for MCA. Yeah. So
And
that,
how long
that
did
was,
it take you to, come to terms with mom passing away? I mean, time heals the wounds, but still,
yeah.
yeah.
Time. I'm kind of, so I'm reading a book called Death by Swami Jaggi Vasudev. I mean, it's Isha Yoga Center. So he's kind of, it's not written by him, but it explains death very beautifully. So, of course, that's now. I'm reading it currently. But it took me, my mom passed away in 2018, um, July. So it took me a while, I mean, yes, time and space heal everything
What was
for
the
us. But
date? What was the date?
so it's 13th July.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So
This is insane. You won't believe it. 2 days back, I was interviewing Zila Khan.
okay.
And I was telling her, see, this is just by chance, okay? We've not discussed this before. She was telling me that her father, Ustad Vilayat Ali Khan, passed away
Hmm.
on a certain month on date 13.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
Okay.
told her, I said, my mother passed away on the date 13th, April 13th. And I said, very important people on my life, or very important episodes or connections or bonds that I formed are via a number 13. I just told this to her 2 days back. And I just happened
My
to ask you
God.
this today. What was the date that she expired? So it's a destiny. I feel that I'm somehow being gravitated towards the number 13th, and the emotion or the pain or the happiness or anything which is a major play role on number 13.
Correct.
Those people are very close to me.
My
So
God. So,
that's
so
13.
number 13 was my mom's favorite number.
Oh my God. Okay.
And she used to always say, unlucky for some and lucky for some,
Same
unlucky for
here.
most.
13 is actually
And
my favorite number too.
sorry.
No, no.
So, and she died on a Friday. And Friday was one of her most lucky days. She used to fast on that day. She used to pray a lot. And that morning she passed away. So it's uncanny, some things happen. Like on that morning when I woke up, I usually, call my parents after I wake up a little while later because I'm busy with my son and, doing the things. So that morning when I woke up and I said, let me call dad. And it was like 7:45. And I just called him. He didn't pick up the phone. So I usually don't kind of get concerned about these things. But I did get worried, which is very unlike, because normally I would think they're sitting out and having tea or something or whatever. And then I called my manager from the restaurant and Devlali, and I said, "Papa, phone nahi utha rahe. Is everything okay?" And he said, "Everything is fine." And I said, "Are you sure?" He says, "Yeah." And then a little while later, I again called and I said, "Is everything okay?" And then Papa called me and he's like, "I'm so sorry." That was that. So I somehow woke up with a feeling, that I called them. So it took me a while. It took me a long time. I still, when you're quiet and you think, no one can replace a mother. No one. That kind of love, unconditional, doesn't happen anywhere.
Like when my
And
mother
you,
passed away, I got alone, absolutely kept to myself, and I started writing. And I wrote a book, and I dedicated the book on her, and I made a film, It's a Girl, which is right now on Hotstar Disney. And it's received 22 international awards. And the first thing I did in the movie is in loving memory of my mother, and I put a picture. So,
how sweet. I think you mentioned this. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm going to see it soon.
yeah.
I would love to.
And so that's what baby girls do for their mothers. Any message that you would like to give, something that's you remember that this is what your mother ingrained in you, कि बेटा ऐसे रहना या जिंदगी में ऐसे चलना, Okay, maybe people who are hearing it could get something out of it.
So I tell this to people who are very close to me. Something that she told me, she lived, not just told, but she lived by example. One was she was always positive, always, never cribbed ever. Two was she never passed a comment on anyone regarding their house, their family, their clothes, their feet, nothing. She never commented on anyone's personality. She says they are who they are. So you have no right to talk about anyone. And she always encouraged people. Like if you are starting off a business or as a musician or as a writer or as whatever, even your neighborhood, she would always encourage people. So she just didn't come and say, Guria, you must do this. She lived by it. She showed me. So as a child, I observed her, and I'm hoping that somewhere I'm halfway through what she was.
Oh, wow, you are, I tell you. The humility, the softness, the understanding, the empathy that you have to connect with the soul. I could feel your energies on the phone when we spoke for close to half an hour. I could just feel the positivity and the softness and, the purity of your soul. And I said,
Thank
this is
you.
one person that something very close to my heart, like I said about my poem. I said, I've not read it out to 12, 13 of all my guests I've interviewed. I said, but Bhumika is one person I can pour my heart out to. So that will be little later after all my questions with you, and
Oh, sweet. I'll be honored. I'll be honored.
my honor too. And Bhumika, tell me any funny episode or anything that's very cute that happened on Tere Naam on the shooting. I know Salman does a lot of pranks. We know him from childhood, but
I
any
don't know if I should. So I remember I was shooting for this scene where I'm on the stage and I'm saying this poem, Gulab Jamun kind of a thing, which is
uh,
happening.
uh,
And so what happened was the camera was a suggestion. So he was in the audience and I'm on the stage. And so the camera is behind him, getting his over shoulder shot, right? And he was saying the most bizarre things. Okay, so I don't even want to get into what he said or how it came out. It was absolutely bizarre. And I was shocked because I never heard things like that before. Never. In terms of language, in terms of jokes or cracking up, not to me, but to everyone else. And I was like, I'm trying to keep a straight face and I'm saying my dialogue. And I said, oh God, I can't do this. But over a period of time, I got used to it. So I think that was on, everyone was in splits. And I was like, I can't focus, I can't focus. So he kept doing that. But that's one side of him. And the other side of him is the kind human being that he is. Someone comes on set to ask for help, and there, he's, whether it's money or whatever people want, he'll just give it. That's the other side. Always standing by people.
and very supportive and very
Yeah.
helpful in getting people up and lifting the bar
Yes.
for them in life, basically.
Yes.
You know?
He's
So
in that way. He's very supportive.
yeah, yeah. And so tell me, is there a major difference between Bollywood of Maharashtra? You worked in Telugu, Malayalam, Punjabi, Bhojpuri, uh, Tamil. I mean, you've been there in practically all the South Indian languages plus in Mumbai. So are there different systems in place or protocols in the way Bollywood functions and South Indian cinema functions? Any major changes you felt?
Not very major. I think in terms of technically, South is also brilliant. They do some really good work. Stories uh, they have a balance of extreme mass and some absolutely par excellence film coming here. Whether it's Malayalam or Telugu, they do some really good work. In terms of respect, I think South, there's a lot more respect towards people, and they're very uh, kind of mean business and finish your work and go back home. So that's in a way it's good because you're done with your work. Bombay also, my experience was good. Fortunately, I worked with some really wonderful people. It takes a little longer to finish a film. Now it's different because it's been a while since I worked in Bollywood. The last film I did was MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni for me was a brilliant experience with Neeraj sir.
Mm.
And, very, very, your workshops are done, your rehearsals, your makeup, everything is done much before the movie starts. So otherwise, yeah, I mean, over the movies I did were in 2000, 2003, 4. So it was a little different, but a lot of fun as well.
And the way they relate to women is in Mumbai, the way they, the pay structure or the way they relate to women in Mumbai and the way they relate to in South India, where is it a more comfort level, where whether it's concerning the uh, the studio, the way they relate, or the media.
I think I've realized down south media is very respectful. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that doesn't mean in comparison, but when you see two industries, the media really respects women here. They won't just splash news which are
Yes.
unruly and uncouth for no reason. And I can talk only out of my experience and nobody else's. Um, Mehnaaz, I've been here for a really long time. So I think the industry has given me immense love,
Immense respect.
immense respect, and I think they've treated me like family. I couldn't have asked for more. They've given me so much that I'm entirely indebted to the entire southern part of India, that is Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, and Malayalam. Mostly, I've done most of my films in Telugu, but I'm entirely, totally indebted to them. I think they are wonderful people. They give you so much love and respect, and
Well
I,
deserved, I would say. Absolutely well deserved, Bhumika.
thank you,
And
thank you.
tell me, is there any role in the film line, as in real life, where you felt that these characters or attributes I could take into my real life? Were there some kind of roles where you felt that this is something that I can incorporate in my real life also?
You kind of learn from every film. So I don't know about what should I say, the character or traits. Um, I think every film will teach you something. So probably Misama, where I played a businesswoman, was different. I could probably pick some things from that. When I did Tere Naam, I didn't know the Mahamrityunjay Jap. So I learned it there. And I think when I did Anasuya, I played a journalist. So I picked up a few things from there. So every film, every character will kind of add a bit to your personality. I can't give specific examples of what it does, but every time you kind of finish a film, you come out richer. You will never come out anywhere
Enriched,
else.
more enriched.
Yeah,
Tell me a
more
little about
enriched. Yeah.
Misamma role, because I'm very intrigued to understand. There were experiments and challenges that she put the guy through to see if he passes the litmus test.
Yeah.
So these are things which a lady should keep in mind when she's addressing a man for a relationship or going forward for marriage. So can you just share with some of my women here that who are looking forward to settling down, that these are the questions or these are the uh, way going forward to keep a checklist on certain things which you did in Misamma?
So I don't know if I can say if it's via the film, but I can say out of my personal experience, because one travels the world and sees the world and learns from your own experiences. So I think the litmus test to any relation would be um, the kind of respect that one should give and get, the kind of love and faith, um, understanding and companionship. Because at the end of it, that is more important. If you can't be a good companion to your partner, if you can't have respect to their dreams, in respect to their dreams or their space, then I don't think it'll work. Having gorgeous big houses and lots of stuff in the house really doesn't matter.
It's also the respect, the empathy, and I feel a little bit of space.
Space, yes.
Yeah, not so much that you get into outer space. No.
I totally agree. Not so much that you actually get zoned out, but
So tell me, what's the
yeah.
secret of your humility and softness and um, the whole everything about you, about Bhumika? That ethereal, very nice, soft feel and very humble look and full of humility. So how does not pride step
Thank you.
after reaching such heights?
I think it's the entire credit I would give to my parents, to my mom and my dad. My dad is also a very simple, humble human being. He's an ex-army officer retired. He's a very simple man. You know, lives simple, eat simple, think very, very calm. So I think it all comes from my parents. I can't take any credit for it.
Was dad in the army being very disciplined and put some rules? Because I see lots of girls from army families, even
Yeah,
Priyanka Chopra and many
that's right.
others from army families who have done excel so well in an Indian film industry. So is there
So
something that we are missing out on here? That they
I
are
think
so
it's just
confident, so
confidence.
full of humility, at the same time confident. Is it the army bringing up the
I think
fathers?
that's what it is. So I think that's what it is because it's your confidence that you travel across the country and you meet a lot of different people. You study in a lot of different schools. You kind of connect, and you're kind of you're brought up differently. So if I have to explain to people in a very straight and simple way, there are only two categories of people. One are civilians, and one are the
Oh my God, yeah.
armed forces. So that's it. There's no religion, there's no caste, there's no rich and poor, or there's no dark and fair, there's no New York and Bombay. There's none of it. According to my understanding, it's only the civil crowd and the other crowd. There's a huge difference in terms of upbringing, in terms of understanding life. That's that's my personal opinion. It could be different for everyone else.
Could you
But
share
I've
with us?
seen
Could you share with us how dad brought you up in certain ways? His do's and don'ts, his disciplines. Was it like make your bed as
it's
first
not
time you get up in the morning, fold your
no.
mattress?
So he did. My father and mother didn't have any rules. My mother had certain rules that you don't go out in the night very late. You pick up your own plates. Nobody's servant here. You pick up your stuff. You clean and wash your own clothes when you're in your fourth grade. Nobody's gonna pick up your innerwear and sort it out. You do it yourself. So that was my mom, and she was very kind and humble and loving to animals. My father, on the other side, is a very quiet man of very few words, but again, a very, very positive outlook to life in every aspect. So, if ever anything happens, he's always said, look at your life, like where you're standing. If something happens in your life, you go back and say, what could get more worse than this? And then you look back at where you are, and everything else is a bonus. He never told us what to do. He never told us how to do. I think he just left us totally. I was out of my home when I was 18. And he was not like you have to sit like this or to buy this or eat this or do this, nothing. Just total freedom. And sometimes in total freedom, I think there is a boon, and of course, not the other way because you get rebellious. You're like, I'm doing whatever I want. But over a period of time, in due course of time, I've understood you can't hold people, whether it's your child or your husband or your family, you can't hold anyone. You have to let them be who they are. And so now I go back to my father and I understand his way of raising me has been so much freedom. He's just let me explore life. He's not expected me to be him. Most parents, most of us do that. We want a younger version of ourselves.
Or
Or
something
we
probably
want,
that, like I would say that when I was a child, I was craving to do ballet. And from day one, when my daughter came up, I said, you must learn ballet. So, when dreams that you've not got to live, you try and
yeah,
impose it on your children.
yes. I agree. So I do that, with my son, I'm like, okay, learn this. But I also give him a free hand, sometimes so much that I get the from my family and people around. I do sense that I give him too much freedom, but I let him explore also. I know it backfires a bit sometimes when you let the child uh, explore too much. Sometimes it can backfire. But there are people who say to me, you have to hold them tight. Or discipline, yes, I totally agree, is a must. Discipline, yes. But you can't hold a child in fear. That बड़े होके आपका डर होना चाहिए. डर में जीने का क्या फायदा? कोई भी रिश्ता डर में जीते तो रिश्ता उभरेगा ही नहीं. It'll just die. It's like a flower blossoming. You keep them in fear, it's gonna die anyway. So I say, okay, you do what you want, you live. I know sometimes it backfires, like I said. ठीक है. He's 7, he's going to be 7, he's going to be 17, and he'll be out. How long am I going to hold him? How long am I going to say, you do it my way? You have to respect me. You can't have to respect me. You either respect me or you don't. You either love me or you don't. That's it.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I just figured that, you kind of let it be.
And
Tomorrow, if
we
you
have so many young girls aspiring to get into South Indian films or Bollywood, and they're trying via first being a model or trying to get into Miss India contests, and go through that whole training programs, which it chisels you by the time you reach into films. What would be your advice to girls? What is the right approach to get into uh, movies and films?
I think, see, everyone has a different path here. So some people just get it like that, direct into film. Some people have to go through ads, and like I started with ads, and I started with then went on to videos in South movies in Hindi. Some people just get it directly. Um, so everyone has, and some people start with small character roles and then get on to the lead. I think it's very different, but yeah, initially you could try for ads, or you can try for movies, or you can. So you don't know where what clicks. You know, sometimes you go
Eyeballs.
through some.
Basically, once you're on the screen in some medium and you're getting the right eyeballs and your placement, your
Right,
visibility should be in areas of media where people see that so and so person can emote well or look
correct.
presentable in a certain
Right,
specific role. So you need to be in the eyeballs and good visibility. It could be on YouTube launching your some
right.
makeup product, and if that goes viral, you're getting
Yeah.
eyeballs. You know,
These
so
days this happens. So people come from different mediums, Sometimes it's just a blogger or a YouTube person or digital stuff or, television. So there are millions of parts here. You just have to kind of get the ball rolling. You have to start somewhere. And then you have to have faith and hard work and dedication. And I think most important is um, the only thing I can tell people who want to start and who hopefully, God bless, God willing, will become big, don't forget where you come from, and stay grounded, because this entire thing is like a bubble. This entire thing is like a bubble, and it could burst anytime. So just stay grounded and firm, feet firm on the ground, wings soaring high, and just fly. Take
and
off.
the education should be a backup. I mean, for the girls, if they're trying very hard in one line for the
Yes.
movies, their next best option should be a mainline other career, which is backed by education.
Right. I absolutely agree to that.
So it shouldn't be that they get into depression that, oh my God, this line didn't work. They have something to fall back on.
So, Mehnaz, this is something that I am going to add to. Um, a lot of acting schools are there, and people want to get into acting schools. People connect to people. Schools, we start off at school and education. What we are not taught in schools, in colleges, in the film industry, in acting schools, is how to deal with depression, how to deal with loneliness, how to deal if you fail. We only sell them dreams. We don't sell them dreams crashing.
Yeah.
So I think you should read a lot. You should understand that if this doesn't happen, there could be something else lined up for you. You could be in, a lot of other things could happen. This is not the end of the world. But yes, give it your best shot. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, depending on the kind of age you have and limit you have and passion you have. But Remember two things: never get too desperate for anything. When you get desperate, you go wrong. That's what my dad told me, and I still remember it. The day you get desperate, you will go wrong. You start taking steps which are not okay. And two is,
I think that's a wonderful message that you've given, that never get desperate, because when you get desperate, you get into desperate measures, and then you end up doing things where you are not mentally, emotionally, psychologically okay with. So that is
correct.
something that is a great message to all the young girls trying to get into that: never get desperate into any kind of situation.
Yes. And that is something that my father gave, and I'm passing on ahead. And the
Wonderful.
second thing I say, that the sooner you will go up, the faster you're going to come down. So don't think that this is, I'm going to take the shortcut here. There's no shortcut to success. There is no shortcut. The only way up is hard work, dedication, goodwill. And like I said, the more grounded you stay, it's a bubble. Otherwise, it's going to burst. And when it bursts, it's going to be really heartbreaking. So to have friends who are close to you, you can talk to, have family you can talk to in times of there'll be really great times. There'll be times which are not so good. So you should have people you can talk to.
So tell me about this current situation. What are the precautions and stuff going on at the sets? It's so important for people to know that, in spite of all this, you're still so professional. You're in spite of the COVID crisis. Some precautions
So
that are being taken besides the masks.
yeah, so masks are there, and gloves and sanitizing machines are there, and you have sanitizers all around. Your vanity van is sanitized. But I make sure that every, your door handles that you touch, or if you touch anything. So I have a sanitizer I keep using. Every half an hour I go back to my vanity or my room or whatever is provided, and I go and wash my hands with soap. Keep having warm water, gargle, and as soon as you get back from the location, you have to straight away head to the washroom, bathroom. You take a shower. There's no substitute to that. Just dump your clothes into, side, and you take a bath. You gargle. You take hot steam, exercise, meditate. Like I said, sanitizing and washing hands. There's no substitute to that. And don't get too close to anybody. Like in between shots, the moment my shot is over, I have my mask on. Even when my director is talking to me, or my assistant comes close to me, or the camera department, I always have my mask, and I keep them at a distance. So I think this is what we can do, and have food that'll boost your immunity, so that it doesn't come down. And
What kind of food
that's
do
it.
you have to make you look so beautiful? Is it a very strict diet you follow?
No, so Mehnaaz, I have everything. I've never, had a diet, but yeah, I have a lot of fruits. I have dry fruits, little food, mostly vegetarian. I have non-veg, but I'm mostly into veg. Probably that, and eat early by 7:30, 6:37, I think latest. Wake up, do your exercise, do your pranayama if you can. As and when you get time, you must do that. Meditate, pray. No substitute to prayers. so,
Do you do
so
yoga?
yeah,
Considering your husband is the guru of Bharat Thakur, the yoga guru. So
yeah.
do you do yoga every day?
I try, Menos. I try to do yoga as much as I can. I mean, not every day. So like today, this morning, I did it, but yesterday I didn't. I wasn't too up to it. So I said I'm not going to push my body because I was shooting till late and things like that. So as and when I try and do it regularly, and I vouch, I swear by it. Yoga or any other form of exercise which you feel is good. You can go swimming, of course, not now, or you could cycle, or you could just walk, or do anything. But exercise is a must. You
Tell
have
us a
nothing to do,
little.
just climb stairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little about yourself and your husband, Bharat Thakur.
My husband, like everyone knows, is into yoga. He has his yoga centers in UAE. He's also recently, in the last 3 4 years, got into paintings. He does a lot of paintings, artwork, and he diversifies his business. He does a lot of things. So at some point he was into farming, organic farming as well, as a business, not just for sales, but as a business he had gone into it. He's produced 2 films in South. He's, so he loves to kind of diversify and do things. And full of energy, full of zest, lot of energy to do a lot of things. And as a partner, I stand by him and I say that one life, and you have to do whatever you want. You have to do it. And that's my belief. Because when you look back towards the end of your life, you shouldn't say that, oh, I haven't done this or I haven't done that. Whatever one wants to do, one must do, regardless of the fact you succeed or you don't. It doesn't matter. But dreams are something you must fulfill and you must live by always.
So tell me about your courtship time. Did you give him a tough time like Miss Amma? The litmus test?
No, I didn't. I'd rather say the other way around. I think I was pretty adjusting and accommodating because his system is a little different than mine in terms of lifestyle. He's more of a late night person and partying and networking, and I'm not so much into, like, I'm not a people's person. I wouldn't say people's person. I love to connect with people, but a smaller group of people, one on one. But he used to have a lot of people home all the time, every day, every night, 20, 30, 40 people. And after a point, I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, so I don't think there was any sort of litmus test. No.
And tell me about how you brought up your son and what's the importance of a working mother's role and how do you have the work-life balance between your work, your son, bringing him up? What is the role that a mother plays in the upbringing, the righteous upbringing of children?
It's a very tough question to answer. I think being a mother is the toughest job on earth because every day you wake up, you are learning. You're learning to be a better human being, a better mother. You're learning how to teach a child a better thing. Like I said, not just by saying, but by setting an example. And, with technology, there's so much technology. How to kind of get them off technology or respect people. These are things one has to inculcate young. And I'm hoping that I'm doing my best. I can only hope and pray that when he
Usually, psychologists say that between the age of 1 and 7. So, when I had my kids, I had lots of books from Time Life on various topics, which were very interactive books. And I used to open them up, like even a clock. It had 2 handles in the book. And I used to tell them, now turn it this way. And then this is
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. So, very interactive books between the age of
Yeah.
1 and 7 is when I trained the faculties of the children, and I had initially put them into Montessori education. So they
Wonderful.
understand.
Yash is also,
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So
yeah.
I think Montessori does a great job for kids because they get the feel, they make them close their eyes and they say, this is cold and this is warm, this is rough, this is soft,
Yeah.
So Montessori trains all the faculties of the child. So I think that's
Correct.
one great thing that as parents we can put our kids into Montessori education. And what
I
are the
totally
other
agree.
aspects that you feel? Your son is also in Montessori? He was in
He's
Montessori?
in Montessori. Yeah, he's in a Montessori system right now. So I think, like I said, trying to balance work in personal life. Um, I take work, but I do not take too much work. So I take work because I love my work and it's my passion. But at the same time, I don't want to neglect him and his upbringing and just the formative years of his life, not be home at all with him. So I try and give him as much time as I can, reading to him and doing things with him and actively playing with him, whether it's games and sports. We do things together. So the last thing I did with him together was in Diblali when I was with my dad, rope climbing. I've never done it before. So I was climbing ropes with him and I was doing hula hoop with him and I was, trying to do skateboard with him, which he learned and I didn't. But that's something I want to do. I want to, my father, we had three kids. My father never had this thing of one boy and two girls. We were all same. The word boy and girl was not used in the house. So it's not like consciously. But in today's time, I'm because people around are like, oh, boys are like this and girls are like this. I'm like, no, it's just a soul. You just be a good human being. There's no, boys don't do this and boys don't cook and boys don't, or girls don't do this. I say, you do everything. You do everything. You stand by people. You love people. I'm trying to inculcate these things that you have to respect people. You make sure that, if there's someone elder to you, you offer them your seat. Money is not everything, because money at the end doesn't buy everything. So I tell him, like, if I'm opening a door for someone, I would still do that. I go to places in Bombay and there's someone coming behind me, I keep the door open. I just don't bang the door behind on their nose and face. So I think these are small things and actions and gestures, and to respect a woman, to stand by a woman, if not just a woman, I think anybody, you have to respect people. So I'm trying to do that.
Wonderful.
And
I'm sure you are doing a great job, Bhumika, coming from you. And, best wishes to your, what is his good name? What is your son's name?
Yash. Yash.
Lovely. Nice. So does he look more like you or more like Bharat, or a good
I,
combo?
I think he's a combo of both of us.
And
Both
are you planning to have another girl or one more child? Pretty girl
I'm
like
not.
you?
I'm not really sure about it. I think whatever God wants. I don't know. I would love to have one more for Yash. I think not just for me, but for Yash. But I think as
A
God wants
reflection
it.
of you, a reflection of Bhumika. We would love to have.
Thank you, Mehnaaz. Thank you.
Any girl NGO association or any kind of social service work or anything that you've been into, or I know you have such tight you know professional life and personal life with family. So any NGO or anyone has approached you for any kind of social work?
I do, I do, I've associated with a lot of these people. I don't usually talk much about it, but so there was a long time ago, I was in, association with Project Crayons. There was a girl child. I had, you kind of adopt a child and you not bring them home, but you kind of take care of their education. So I did that for a while, years ago. Then I've been associated with Ashray Akriti in Hyderabad, which is for children who can't hear. And so every now and then I get back and I meet them and give them hearing aids when I can and do stuff. Otherwise, social service, I think, is for me on a daily basis what you can do for someone, one person or many, it doesn't matter. You could, if you're passing by, like for example, times when I go from Juhu to Yari Road, not now, not in these times, but there've been children who've been studying on the road side, and teachers who sit on a chair and teach them. So the next, I ask them what can I do for them. So I take books and notebooks and pencil boxes and just give it to them. I keep doing these things, or that in the army I had given them a defibrillator for heart and all that. So for me, social is every time you come across a particular person or an event that touches you, or you think you can help them, and you get helped by helping them. So I do that
It's in
wherever
the
I
giving you
can.
receive, like um, you coming onto this talk show is also your bit for women. My doing this talk show without zero sponsors or advertisements is also giving my time, my energy, and doing my bit for my women and the girl children. So that's also
Absolutely.
a huge social service thing. So
Right. I
tell
totally
me
agree.
about your strengths, your certain things that the world doesn't know, where maybe you like pickle, or maybe you like popper, or maybe chewing gum, or something which is your weakness no one knows of, or chicky. It could be anything.
I, I don't think I could say that I have any sort of weakness, but yeah, I'm dull. So like I'm here, I would love to have poppers because they have lovely poppers here. So that, and I think my I don't know how to say it. But weakness, it's adventure, it's freedom, it's reading, it's sports, different kind of sports, different kind of things I do. For me, that is my high of life.
What are the different sport activities that you do?
The last that I did was scuba diving in Dubai. I learned, and so I want to do skydiving now. I've done a lot of adventure things like rope climbing. I have never done it, but I practiced, and I just the second time I've put it on Instagram. This is the second time I was on top of the rope, so I said, okay, I need to practice that more, and probably doing yoga, cycling, or swimming. These kind of things that keep me going. Playing badminton. I think it makes me happy, and dance just. I love dancing, so
What kind of
I'm not
dance?
a great.
Bollywood, anything
Just
classical?
no, just free dance. I'm
Oh,
not a
wow,
great dancer, but I love dancing. I
lovely. We
love
should dance
dancing.
one time together.
Dance
That's
connects
lovely.
us to God, I think. Yeah.
And tell me something about your upcoming movies. I know you're shooting right now in Hyderabad. So tell me more about your upcoming films.
So I have right now I'm working currently just started a film. This is like a road trip kind of a film. Idena Katha. So that is one film I'm doing. Then I have another film called City Man in Telugu. Then I have a Tamil film called Kannai Nambade. That is with Udayanidhi Stalin. And I have just okayed a project in Hindi, which I'm not going to talk about because I haven't signed. It's just been okayed 2 days ago. And so that should start in January.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So tell me now about my talk show. Since I have such a comfort level with you, I've never asked this question to anyone. How do you think the positioning of the word Womenistan talk show is? And how do you think one can scale this up? Any ideas or inputs or guidance for me?
I think it's a very good talk show, Mehnaaz. You're doing a great job. I think scale up, yes. Like you get people to talk, and if, like you said, in whatever little way they can influence the audience watching, the women, the girls, uh, inspire them in any way in terms of professionally or personally, uh, whichever way you and your guest on the show can make a difference to all the women. I think it's a beautiful show, and if we can in any way uplift anybody's life, nothing like it. It'll be a gift for us.
Yeah. Hi, Bhumika. I wanted to ask you one more question. Do you see Womenistan? I really look up to you and your advice. Do you see Womenistan in any other vertical besides a talk show?
uh, yeah, I think you could probably make a movie, a web series. Digital world is really big right now, so you could probably do that, or you could make a movie on it. But like I feel that the script should be very strong and not. It has to have a fine balance of making people, the audience, understand, but not too much of where people won't take it very strongly. I think if it's very strong in subject, they may not accept it. So you have to kind of fine balance the whole thing and put it very beautifully.
So something which is not totally gender biased, something which is
Yes,
striking
yes,
a good balance between, how men play such an important role in empowering
yes,
a woman. I personally sometimes feel, besides the few numbers of women that I have in support, is that I feel women support, and they can
mm,
support. They really can support because they have a lot of the little bit of insecurities too, where they're
yeah,
themselves struggling to come up, the anxieties, the challenges. But sometimes, if
mm,
a right man comes in your life, unconditional,
yeah,
and he makes you rise in life. So, a
absolutely. I totally agree to
man
that.
can really make you rise in life.
Yes, so if you have a script like that, where because um, God has created two people, two different people. And if we support each other, we always come up better in life. We always shine brighter. but so it's one with another. It's interlinked. It's not just women or just men. I think it's interlinked. It's hand in glove kind of a thing. So
Yeah, sorry.
if you have something like that, it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. So, and there was a poem which I actually wrote on Womenistan, the topic,
Hmm.
the whole idea about women and feminism and striking a balance and, garnering the support of men. And it's really very close to my heart. I've already registered it. So I am cool with the viewers hearing it.
Okay.
And give me an opportunity to read out to you.
I would love to. I'll be honored.
So it goes this way, Bhumika, for you, dedicated to my dear friend Bhumika. It says,
Thank you.
lyrics are totally by me, and it goes this way. सदियों से जिंदगी औरतों को लाचार और मजबूर समझती आ रही है. अब वक्त आया है कि इस अंदाज और सोच को बदलना है. औरत से ही तू पैदा हुआ है और उसी के साथ तू जबरदस्ती करता है. बस हुआ और नहीं, तेरे दिमागी फुतूर को बदलना है. अब वक्त आ गया है कि इस अंदाज को बदलना है. उठ रे सखी, चल चल रे सखी, चल दे दे मेरा साथ. आ हाथ थामे, इस नाइंसाफी का मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना है. लाचार नहीं, मजबूर नहीं, ना ही कमजोर हूं मैं. अब वक्त आया है कि तुम्हारी सोच को बदलना है. खुद ही के लिए हम काफी हैं. अब ना डर होगा ना इंसाफी. इसी तशन से जिंदगी का बीज बोया है. बस हुआ, अब और हमें नहीं सहना है. उठ रे सखी, चल दे दे मेरा साथ. जिंदगी की इस जंग को हमें लड़ना है. बस हुआ और जिल्लत नहीं सहना है. पति पति है मेरा साथी. पति पति है मेरा साथी, परमेश्वर नहीं, जिसके आगे माथा टेकना है और हाथ जोड़ना है. जैसा दोगे वैसा ही पाओगे. इज्जत हो या जिल्लत, उसी की बनिस्बत में मिलेगी तुम्हें फिरनी या काड़ा. इसका सोच विचार तुम्ही को करना है. बस हुआ, अब और हमें नहीं सहना है. उठ रे सखी, चल दे दे मेरा साथ. जिंदगी की इस जंग को हमें लड़ना है. बस हुआ और जिल्लत नहीं सहना है. जान से बढ़कर चाहेंगे तुम्हें, जान से बढ़कर चाहेंगे तुम्हें. इबादत करेंगे खुदा के बाद. दिल को चोट बार बार लगी तो जख्म भर जाएंगे और आंसू सूख जाएंगे. नाराज तुम होना, नाराज तुम होना, पर धोखा ना देना. तुम्हारे पतझड़ के सहारे बनेंगे. बस गुजारिश है कि दिल ना तोड़ना. यही अरमान हर औरत चाहती है. घर छोड़ के नया घर बसाती है. बस जिल्लत और नहीं सहना है. संभाल लो हमें कि बागी ना हो जाए. संभाल लो हमें कि बागी ना हो जाए. कैसे संभालोगे, इसका सोच विचार तुम्ही को करना है. उठ रे सखी,
Beautiful.
चल दे दे मेरा साथ. जिंदगी की इस जंग को हमें लड़ना है. बस हुआ और जिल्लत नहीं सहना है. आ हाथ थामे, इस नाइंसाफी का मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना है. उठ रे सखी, चल दे दे मेरा साथ. जिंदगी की इस जंग को हमें लड़ना है.
बहुत खूब. Beautiful, beautiful. Very, very, very well written.
Thank
बहुत
you
खूब.
so much. Thank you.
Mashallah,
Complete.
you're really good.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
Thank you, Bhumika, for coming on to Womenistan Talk Show. I feel so relieved and just feel so pure and blessed with having such a nice soul onto my talk show. I really feel very, very deeply connected with you. And
Thank you, Mehnaaz. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And, the first conversation that we had almost a month and a half ago on the phone, and what you told me about you, I think very proud of you for who you are and how you've taken charge of your life. Really proud of you, Mehnaaz.
thank you, Bhumika. Thanks for your precious time. And I wish you all the best. Please be safe during the shoots. And all the best for
Thank
Rose
you.
and your all upcoming ventures and all the new films.
Thank you so much.
More
Thank you,
power to
Mehnaaz.
you. More power. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye. Bye.